Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visite suprememastertv.com/schedule.
我们的节目提供多种语言，请看 suprememastertv.com/schedule。
What I really want to show is we animals and how we are treating those animals.
Supreme Master Qinghai applaud and present Joanne MacArthur with the Shining World Compassionate Photographer Award with a loving contribution of $10,000 as a supportive gift for her noble work in God's immense love. Telling We Animals Stories. Interview with Joanne MacArthur, vegan, part 3 of 4. Continue watching to find out more.
Bonjour, téléspectateurs sacrés means hello, saintly viewers in French. I am Alfred. The vibrant people of the collectivity of Saint-Barthélemy wish you harmony, happiness, and excellent health. Welcome to part 3 of this 4-part series entitled Telling We Animals Stories, interview with Joanne MacArthur, vegan. Joanne MacArthur is a Canadian award-winning photojournalist, humane educator, animal rights activist, and author. She's also the founder of the We Animals Project, a photography project documenting human relationships with animals. As we continue our interview with Joanne MacArthur, she shares some tips on how photography can help people see other animals from a different vantage point.
Something that we often do when we're photographing animals is we photograph them from the human eye vantage point, and often from quite far away. And so we often get these typical images that we see all the time that don't convey enough about the animal's experience or who they are. And so one of my main bits of advice for people who are photographing animals who want to show them or bring out the individual is to get down. Usually, often animals are smaller than us, so to get down and to get close and just to be patient and stay still and let them come to you and let them express their curiosity about you. And then you will be able to photograph something of that animal that is more about them and less about us looking down at them. What I really want to show is we animals and how we are treating those animals. And so it's important for me to show the constructs that we have created in which we keep these animals. So it's important to show the size of a factory farm, or the locks and the cages and the horrible atmospheres of all these places, whether it's a clinical atmosphere of a lab or the putrid vileness of a mink farm. Yeah, and so sometimes the animal is not even really the subject of the photo. It's everything that's happening around that animal that we have done, that we have constructed.
Using these techniques, Joanne's images powerfully reveal the tragic and disturbing reality that animals are subjected to. In her book, Captive, the heart-wrenching photos invite us to reflect on how we view animals in confinement.
It's an indictment as well as a plea for change. I don't need to tell you more about what you'll see within its pages. The animals in these photographs speak for themselves. They ask us to look, to really see, and to not turn away. What I can tell you, though, is about some of the animals I met while shooting. This is Gina, a a very old elephant who's lived alone for 15 years. Gina has spent her life pacing back and forth in a small dirt enclosure without even a tree to stand under. I went back to that zoo 3 times. She remained there, doing the same nothing every single day for her whole life.
It is meant for us to reflect upon ourselves and our behaviors and frankly our violence. We're inflicting a tremendous amount of violence. I think that in order to capture those kinds of images that show the loneliness or the fear, you have to stick around a little while. You have to, or a long time, not just a little while. But for example, some of the zoos that I visited for a captive, I went back to the same exhibits for days, and I would spend hours observing the repetitive behaviors of an elephant, for example. There was this one monkey who had this beautiful display of swinging over and over, and people were just amazed by it. But then when you stay more than 30 seconds, you see that the monkey is doing the exact same movement, and then for hours, and then for days, you know? And we don't know that. So it's for me not only to photograph, but to write about and to talk about.
This is Miko Luka, a baboon who was kept alone in a terribly small enclosure. I let him groom my hands and arms, but when I left, he moved around frantically, asking me not to leave. I went back to see him 4 times that day, and he was so happy that someone was socializing with him, just giving him attention. Of course, though, I had to leave eventually. The memory of him with his fingers clasped around the bars as he strained to watch me leave is something I will never forget. I urgently want to help animals like Gina and Miko Luka. This book will help usher these important stories and conversations into the fore.
I do that worldwide as well because it's important for me to show that these industrial practices are the same, whether it's Australia or Taiwan, both places that I've photographed these industries. The killing machines that we've created, these abominable slaughterhouses, they have the same kind of systems, and we keep ramping up to make these places faster and faster and, like, frankly, more vile. And that's happening, you know, like where I was in Taiwan just a few weeks ago, and it's happening here, and it's happening in Australia and Sweden. Yeah. And I do so much of this work as well because I want it to be current. I want to show current systems and current practices. We're looking into places and trying to get as close as we can. And it is important to get close, again, to not only convey the experience of the animal, but to show all of the details and all of the mechanisms.
Let's take a few moments to pray for the well-being of these loving animals and our planet, a truly precious life-giving home for humans, animals, and plant life. We'll be right back here on Supreme Master Television.
My name is Joanne MacArthur, and I would like you all to be veg and go green and save the planet.
Welcome back to Telling We Animals Stories. Interview with Joanne MacArthur, vegan, part 3 of 4. During her photojournalist work, Joanne MacArthur has traveled around the world and witnessed many horrific scenes of how people treat animals.
I've just finished 3.5 weeks of intensive investigations in Thailand and Taiwan, and what I found there is that all of these farms that I went to, the people who worked there or who owned them were so and this is worldwide as well, so removed from the animals who are considered products, or they're considered inventory. Like when I was photographing in the North Carolina floods just a few months ago, the loss of animals, millions of animals who drowned in those floods, were considered a loss of inventory. And what I found in Taiwan is that they have these, big factory farms, and the animals they don't even see them. They're completely invisible. The point is that the ducks are laying eggs, or the quail are laying these tiny little eggs, and no consideration for the animals whatsoever, who are cramped in increasingly tight conditions. And the stress that they exhibit so obviously, to me, was really, really frightening and awful. But to the people showing us around, it's absolutely nothing, it's all part of a day's work. It's just, yeah. So that is very, very striking. And it's really interesting to be in a place where I see something so very differently than the people who are working there. I've also spent some time photographing at slaughterhouses recently. It's really something to be there so close up to the suffering again, where it's just routine for the people there. It's just routine, and yet for me, I'm just witnessing, I'm focusing on the individuals who are being slaughtered, and this is literally hell on earth. There could be no more fear than the fear that they endure while they're walked into these places, and they can see all of, the dead around them, and oh my gosh. And I just can't believe that we have created systems that work this way, and that not only do we slaughter beautiful living beings, but we do it in front of them, in front of all the others. It's absolutely horrific, and it's worldwide, whether this is, a rich country or, a very poor country. This is how we do it. It's a complete lack of respect for all others, and it really is shocking. And that's why, unfortunately, I have to keep getting up close to the slaughter, so that we can all see that this is really how we're doing it. It's awful.
We are deeply grateful to Joanne MacArthur for all our compassionate efforts. God bless you, Joanne, and may you be protected as you continue your important work to save the animals from suffering. Supreme Master Ching Hai applaud and present Joanne MacArthur with the Shining World Compassionate Photographer Award with a loving contribution of $10,000 as a supportive gift for her noble work in God's immense love.
Supreme Master Ching Hai is deeply grateful to the beloved God for all the financial help, comfort and support to the afflicted and needy, and or any good cause over the years, as a humble vessel for Here's neutral term for his or hers compassion and love toward Here's precious children.
For more information on Joanne MacArthur, please visit joannemacarthur.com. Loving viewers, thank you for your company today. Join us again on Friday, June 5th, for part 4 of Telling We Animals Stories, interview with Joanne MacArthur, vegan. Coming up next is Explore the Extraordinary World of the Animals with Yolande Delabine, vegetarian, part 2 of 2, right after noteworthy news here on Supreme Master Television. May all beings walk in peace and freedom as we strive to be kinder, more considerate citizens of Mother Earth.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/AJAR.